Good evening, everybody. We are here with our second video about splicing, and this one is the other very common splice that you should be able to see anywhere around the vessels or the wharf. It's called the back splice. What is a back splice? When you have the end of the line of any line, unless it's melted together or whipped, it tends to fray and come apart, and the strands tend to come apart and untwist the rope itself, and of course that will eventually untwist the whole rope. So ends of rope, when the rope comes to an end, it's always good to either whip it or do the back splice, which I'm going to teach you about today. Okay, it's a very simple splice where what happens is once you've marked, just like in an eye splice, how much of the strands you want to tuck back into the standing part of the line, and you put a little electrical tape at the bottom so they don't keep opening up, tape the end of the strands. Those strands will then tuck back into the end of the line to create the back splice to prevent the line from unfurling, etc. Okay? So how to do that? The first thing you need to do when you start the back splice is a crown knot. And here Oscar will focus the camera a little bit so you can see what's going on. So just like an eye splice, you got three strands, right, center and left. You start with the right, okay? And what you do is you go over and under, but you keep it all very open like that. So you see how this strand went over one strand and under the left, just like that. And it created two little eyes. The second, though, the middle strand will just go over like that, okay? Now, what you want to notice is the first eye that you have created. So again, the right go over, under, okay? And this is the eye that you're going to be using, so mark that one. And then the middle will just go over. Once you've done that, the third one comes back into that eye that I was talking about before, into here. So this one come back into here. And that is your crown knot. As you're cinching this knot up, I want to show you the very unique shape that will help you recognize that you've done the knot properly. So I'm slowly and evenly cinching the knot, and can you see that it's kind of like a little infinity type, very clear mark of the crown knot. Okay, that crown knot, as you can see, now orientated the strands back towards the standing part of the line. So now you can actually start with your tucks. Okay, so I'm going to cinch it up a little bit and start with the tucks. And the tucks are the same as an eye splice. So the first one tucks in into wherever you can. Okay, the middle one or whichever one you want to start with. The left one again go over, under, so you can see over one, under one over here. And then flip the rope for the third one, and the third one, just like the eye splice, you can see where the first one comes out of, the same strand, open that, and the third one will tuck the other way into under the same strand. And there you go, there's your first tuck of the back splice. Give it a good old cinch, always at the beginning of the splice. It's good to cinch it all up, bring it together. Check for one strand separation like we do on every other splice, and from there on keep going with the same method we showed at the eye splice video, over and under. So choose which one to start with, do another tuck, over one, under one, easy. Down the middle, let's move to the left always, over one, under one, there's the strand, open that up, in she goes. And for the third one, what do? Always flip. Look at where the first one comes out, there's your strand. You open, lift that strand up, this one, the third one will go under the same strand but the other way. Again, one strand separation, and keep going, and keep going, and keep going. Alright? We'll do another little review of how to finish a splice properly with the tapering method. I know I'm doing this one really quickly for you guys. So, if you remember, to finish it with a taper, you choose the shortest strand first. It's kind of hard on this one, they're all short, but we'll choose this one as the shortest. Once you chose the shortest, the one to its right tucks in once with the over-under method. And then the third one will tuck in twice. So all the strands should come out of the same side of the line. So flip it over, you see over, under, over this one, under that one, that's one tuck. And again, over and under, there's the strand you gotta tuck under, in there. All of them coming out of the same side. The splice is nice and tapered, Okay, and like I said before, you can cut the excess and melt it back onto the line if you want to be super tidy. Give it a good old rub with your hand, with your boot, and what you end up is a nice back splice, and this way that protects the line from unfurling. As you can see, if you start seeing any line that unfurls on the boat, whether it's a big or a small one, put a back splice onto it or whip it. Make sure that it stays with us doing its job the way it's supposed to. Hope that makes sense.